as I said before, Brian Sipe and his offensive unit, Dick, has been in this particular position many times before. Last year, winning 3 overtime ball games. It's no stranger to them. They feel very comfortable about it. It's just a matter of lining up and executing under circumstances that are a little bit different, but certainly not foreign to them.
56 seconds to go. 1st and 10 at the 48. Sipe. Up the middle. Calvin Hill has a first down and runs out of bounds to stop the clock at the 37-yard line. Make it the 36. 49 seconds to go. Calvin Hill.
All right, Sipe back again in the pocket. You know who he's looking for, Calvin Hill, right over the middle. Calvin catches the ball. Now watch him get out of bounds like an experienced veteran. He gets as much real estate as he can, but he doesn't have to expend the timeout. He stops the clock, and Cleveland can start operating again.
He didn't have to go to Yale to know that, but it helps. 1st and 10, 49 seconds to go. The Browns have 1 timeout remaining. 1. Hill and Mike Pruitt in the backfield. Sipe looking for the yardage. Will run. Penalty marker down. If it's a clip, the Browns are in trouble. He has the first down, but if the Browns are guilty of clipping, that could really set him back. Mike Lewis makes the stop, and apparently it's against the Cleveland Browns, and this is a critical penalty against them, Paul.
It's a penalty that really comes at an inopportune time and hurts Brian Sipe right there. It looks like he's a little shaken up on the play, and so this could be a real problems for the Browns.
I'll tell you one thing, Sam Rutigliano wasn't looking ahead of the Pittsburgh game, using Sipe and running all over the place today. Let's pick it up.
'63 offense, holding, still first down.
All right, Cody Risen holding. And even though it's still first down, that's not the important thing. The down is not the story here. It's the yardage and the clock. 42 seconds to go. The ball now at the 46 of Green Bay. And right now they are not in field goal range.
Brian needs about a 15 to 20-yard pass to put him back into field goal range. He's going to have to put the ball up over into dangerous territory, which is up over the middle.
Sipe lets it go, and Logan comes in, incomplete. The ball hit the dirt before Logan could make the play, and so 8 seconds tick off. That's the time remaining. It'll be 2nd down and 20 at the 46.
All right, Logan trying to make the catch. He just can't quite scoop it underneath. Number 22, Mark Lee, defending on the play. Brian Sipe feeling a little bit of pressure coming from the Green Bay defensive front that time. Had to step up into the pocket and get rid of the ball a little bit faster than he wanted to.
2nd down. Browns at the Packers 46. Sipe with time. In trouble. And he lifts one in the air. Incomplete. The Packers are looking for an intentional grounding. They do not get it, but Ezra Johnson put immense pressure on Brian Sipe, and it'll be 3rd down with 25 seconds to go. And watch Johnson, number 90, come from outside.
Sipe back in the pocket. He's looking for someone to throw. He can't find a receiver. Now he feels the pressure. Watch him start to move out. Ezra Johnson, number 90, doesn't quit. He keeps coming, and Brian amazingly gets the ball off. No infraction called, and so nothing lost on the particular down.
Greg Pruitt is in the game, and Calvin Hill goes out. Pruitt, number 34, in there, along with Mike, his brother, 43. 25 seconds to go. Check that. No relation there, except they play on the same team. 3rd down. And Sipe lets it go for Logan. And Logan has it, and Logan is going to go. It's touchdown Browns. Dave Logan scores. The Browns lead it. Amazing. Amazing play.
Well, Brian Sipe is the kind of guy who can pull off miracles. He did it 3 times in overtime last year, and apparently he has done it again here this afternoon. Green Bay came with the all-out blitz that time, caught Logan, and made the big play. Dave Logan went high.
He is a superb athlete. The Cincinnati Reds wanted him to be a pitcher. The Kansas City Kings wanted him to be a basketball player. He's a football player.
There's the all-out blitz by Green Bay. Logan locates the ball, goes up over Mark Lee, and then outraces Lee, another Green Bay defender, number 24, and that's Johnny Gray to the end zone. Big play. Brown sight does it again under pressure.
Point after touchdown is no good. It's off to the left. A bad snap from center. So the score is 26-21 in favor of the Browns. 16 seconds to go. But an amazing turn of events, because here it looked as if the Green Bay Packers had put enough pressure on Brian Sipe, and all the Browns were looking for was field position for Don Cockroft.
Since witch burning is against the law, the Cleveland populace took solace from the fact that the visiting Packers tend to decompose faster than burning tissue paper. But in this contest, the Pack got off to a blazing start. Lynn Dickey threw for nearly 400 yards, and his touchdown pass to James Lofton, number 80, demonstrated that Green Bay was fired up. The Browns, who trail going into the fourth quarter, seem bewitched by mysterious forces. But with 16 seconds left in the game, an underthrown Brian Sipe pass to Dave Logan, number 85, remained firmly in the receiver's hands. The 26-21 win was Cleveland's fourth in their last 5 games. And another look at the 46-yard touchdown pass shows that the victory resulted from Sipe withstanding a furious Green Bay blitz, then unloading off balance just in the nick of time. Sipe clearly possesses all the conventional skills for beating an opponent. But weird bounces, upsets, and near upsets made last Sunday an unconventional day in the NFL. And Brian Sipe's magic formula for staving off the witching hour remains his little secret.
Want to welcome all of you that have been watching other games here on CBS. Kansas City with the lead, 37-36. Back and forth we've gone here in this second half. And now it's Cleveland trying to go back in front with a 2nd and 5 at their own 37. Holcomb filling in for the injured Tim Couch. Underneath pass. Is it a clean catch at the 48-yard line? That is the question right now.
Yes, it is.
Quincy Morgan for a gain of 7, and they'll move the chains. Clock continues to roll. 2:10 left. Fourth quarter. Out of the shotgun. Off the fake. Timing pattern down the sideline. Kevin Johnson into Kansas City territory and out of bounds. Just short of the 30-yard line.
Kevin Johnson, as he's been doing all day with the little fake to the inside. Warfield knows he's got help over the top, but Greg Wesley, the safety, late coming over. The safety has got to get to the outside quicker than that. A big day for Kevin Johnson. Of course, nothing new about that. He only had 84 catches for the Browns last year. Is really their only threat.
And now a 1st and 10 at the Kansas City 31. Trailing by just a point. Handoff, Jamel White. And driven back at the 29, Mike Mislowski making that stop along with Greg Wesley. We have hit the 2-minute warning. It's a tight one in Cleveland.
E-Business is the game. Play to win. And by T-Mobile. Get more minutes, more features, more service.
And Deerdorf, this has been a wild one. 8 lead changes. You can't guess the ending right now.
No, you can't, and it's really unheard of to see this type of offensive explosion by the Cleveland Browns, who struggled last year, the worst offensive team in the league, and behind backup quarterback Kelly Holcomb, a marvelous day for him and the team.
On a handoff for Jamel White, emerging through a hole, and he gets to the 25-yard line, 3-yard gain. Bush and Clemens making that stop. Tim Couch He started all 16 games last year for the Cleveland Browns, but Couch has scar tissue in his right elbow, unable to go here today. So Kelly Holcomb makes his first start in nearly 5 years, and Holcomb has put up big numbers. 27 of 39, 326 yards passing, 3 touchdowns.
Well, he has experience in different ways than getting it on the field during the course of a regular season game. Lots of preseason action during his career, some work overseas, and he has had his moment, and he's shown everybody that he's ready.
Cleveland has used a timeout. They still have 1 remaining. They trail by 1. See why CBS Monday is America's best night of television, starting with The King of Queens, followed by Yes Dear, Everybody Loves Raymond, and Becker. Then don't miss CSI on a special night, plus The Late Show with David Letterman after your local news. That's Monday here on CBS. The U.S. Open Men's Final. 3rd and 4 from the 25. In motion, Kevin Johnson. They go conservative. Jamel White up the middle. Ryan Sims, the rookie, number 6 pick, first man there to move him backwards. And we will move under 1 minute left. Phil Dawson, he has been perfect on the day, 3 of 3.
And we'd be looking at a 40-yarder from right here, 40 to 41 yards.
We told you earlier, Kansas City, no timeouts remaining. They will get the football back with just about 30 seconds
and
or
that
so.
timeout that they used to challenge, which we all agreed that Dick Vermeil had to do, that is really costing them right now.
And now Cleveland has used its final timeout with 33 seconds showing on the clock.
Dick Vermeil wishes he had that timeout, wishes he would have been able to stop this clock prior to when the Browns just stopped it now, to give his team a chance at a couple extra plays if Cleveland is successful with his field goal.
You know, stating the obvious, it's so important to get off to a good start, feel good about yourself on opening day. Kansas City last year opened 1-6. They just couldn't get out of that hole. Cleveland, on the other hand, did get off to a good start. They were 6-4, and then injuries just ravaged them at the tail end of the season. NFL kickoff weekend.
And right now, Phil Dawson's heart rate, I would say, is somewhere around 150.
He has converted on 18 straight field goal attempts. 40-yard attempt. Gardocki will hold it. Dawson. He's got it. Browns regain the lead.
Oh, there goes a penalty flag. Well after the play was over, something happened out on the field. This won't affect the field goal. This happened way after the play. Well, this is going to be interesting.
Field goal is good. After the field goal, we have a dead ball taunt on number 17, Cleveland. 15 yards assessed on the kickoff.
The holder, Gardocki.
It should be a 90-yard penalty for taunting by the holder. I'm not sure anything is too severe. Phil Dawson drives this right down the middle. No question about this whatsoever. But keep in mind now what Kansas City needs to retake the lead is a field goal. And Gardocki's foolishness has just given them a 15-yard head start.
The 9th lead change this afternoon. And Kelly Holcomb pumping the fist. Butch Davis. He'll get a fist pump in as well with 29 seconds left. Now Dick Vermeil and the Kansas City Chiefs have played a competitive ball game throughout, but now they find themselves down by 2 with no timeouts left.
Yeah, but the Browns find themselves having to free kick from the 15-yard line because of Gardocki. All right, now, I would think Chris Gardocki is feeling a little contrite. Yes. Chris, it'll only be funny if you guys end up winning the game.
Dawson will kick it off. Dante Hall is waiting. Hall has to go to the other side of the field to get it.
What a kick.
From the 20. Hall to the 30. Remains on his feet to the 35. And brought down at the 36-yard line. A 20-yard return. James Jackson on special teams made sure that he brought him down.
Well, the Cleveland Browns did it when they had to. 7 plays, 45 yards.
19th straight field goal made by Phil Dawson.
And this is what had happened right here. Trent Green tried to get into the end zone on a 2-point conversion. He was inches short. And that's the difference in the ball game to this point right here. The Chiefs have got to work the sidelines. No timeouts left.
7 defensive backs for Cleveland. Green steps up in the pocket. Green, pump fake, and slides down at the 47. Only 10 seconds left. A 12-yard scamper, but more costly because of the clock. 5 seconds left.
They'll
and
get
Green
one
forced
play.
to spike it.
They'll get one play.
4 seconds remain.
Well, all they can hope for is a touchdown or a penalty.
And the Cleveland Browns remember the Chicago Bears. It's not over till it's over. Last year in one of the wackiest finishes you will ever see. 4 seconds remaining. Browns looking to hold on. 39-37. Green takes the snap. Green steps up. Under some heat. He got rid of it. John Tate is running with the football. Flags come down. And Tate is forced out of bounds at the 25.
Let me tell you something. Dwayne Rudd threw his helmet while the play was going on. That's a defensive penalty. The game can't end on a defensive penalty. Dwayne Rudd threw his helmet.
He thought he had sacked Trent Green, and in celebration, figuring there's no time on the clock, he took off his helmet.
Unsportsmanlike penalty. Number 57, Cleveland, threw his helmet during the play. It's a tack-on penalty, half the distance to the goal. Extended play, extended down. One untimed down.
This is unbelievable. The game cannot end on a defensive penalty. Rudd throwing his helmet is going to give the Chiefs an opportunity for a field goal here to win the game. Look at him there on the left side of your screen. He doesn't even know that John Tate is running with the football. The play is still going on.
What a turn of events.
What a gaffe. And now it comes down to the oldest player in the NFL, Morton Anderson.
He has been Mr. Reliable. This is his first game as a Kansas City Chief. And this is a 30-yard field goal attempt.
With zeros on the clock. And this is a disbelieving Cleveland Browns Stadium crowd.
Gammon will snap it. Straczynski will hold it. Morton Anderson, the oldest player in the NFL. 30 yards away. Anderson. He nails it. Kansas City wins.
And Dwayne Rudd goes down as making one of the biggest mistakes in Cleveland Browns history.
The Chiefs have just pulled off a miracle down the stretch. And they pull it off 40-39 over the Browns. Oh, what a finish.
The last play of the game. 4 seconds on the clock at the beginning of this. The clock has already expired. On the left, Rudd throws his helmet while the play is still going on. Trent Green got the ball to John Tate. The play stayed alive, and Morton Anderson, after time expired in NFL terminology, an untimed down, and 42 years old, drills another one. Ian, I saw it, but I'm not sure I believe it.
What a sequence.
Dick Vermeil has been around this game a long time, and I'm sure he's never won one quite like this, and I'll guarantee you Butch Davis has never lost one like this.
Kansas City has pulled one out of thin air to win on opening day for the first time since 1998. You come to these stadiums thinking, well, maybe there's something I won't see.
I've been doing this a long time, Ian. I'm just glad to have been here. Great work, guy.
You too, Dan. Andre Agassi, Pete Sampras, U.S. Open is coming up. Final score, 40-39. Kansas City pulls this one out at the end. For Dan Deerdorf, Bonnie Bernstein, our entire crew, this is Ian Eagle. Jim Nantz coming up in our NFL Today studios when we come back. Hard to believe.
TV's most anticipated new drama, CSI Miami, premieres CBS Monday, September 20th.
Well, Mother Nature has blessed us with a perfect day for the Cleveland Browns and the Tennessee Titans, the home opener for the Browns here at FirstEnergy Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio. Today's game is being broadcast in Spanish where available using the SAP button on your television. Captains are at midfield. We're moments away from Johnny Manziel and the Browns against Mariota and the Titans. It's coming up next. Manziel making his third start. Adam, we were in Carolina when he made his second career start last year.
Last year when he got the job, he didn't look prepared and he looked overwhelmed. He certainly didn't look very comfortable. Last week when he got a chance to come in for Josh McCown, he looked much better running the offense. And I think if the reads are clean for him and he gets the ball out of his hands quickly, then he can do an efficient job.
Crowell is the first tailback in the ball game for the Browns. Barnage, the tight end, came over and settled on the right side of the offensive line. Crowell's first run right into the gut, and he is met at the 40-yard line. Take a look at the Browns lineup. We'll begin with their offensive line. Well, we love Joe Thomas, and he loves Alex Mack, and the fact that he is back for the Cleveland Browns at center. From a specialty standpoint for the Browns offense, well, they've got some weapons. Brian Hartline is the best route runner of the receivers. He came in for the Miami Dolphins. Second down at 8 from the 40. Manziel off the play fake. First pass of the day, looking long, middle of the field. He has Benjamin. He makes the catch, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Cleveland Browns. 60 yards from Johnny Manziel. You want to race the butterflies? This will race the butterflies.
Well, last week the big hero for Tennessee was Cody Sensabaugh, who started the game with a pick six. This time, in for Jason McCourty, draws the coverage of Travis Benjamin, and coming into this game, they felt that if they saw that matchup with Sensabaugh and press coverage, they were going to take advantage of it. And Johnny Manziel seems to have a great connection going deep for Benjamin in the first 2 weeks.
Extra point for Coons is good. The Browns have jumped out to a 7-0 lead. A 60-yard touchdown pass from Johnny Manziel to Travis Benjamin. Pretty good way to start a Sunday afternoon here in Cleveland.
The flat. But you like the recognition right here from Johnny Manziel. Earlier, he escaped the pocket. He got his eyes downfield. This time, he identified where the pressure is and hit the right target.
Last week, they scored just 10 points against the Jets. They already have 7 here in the first quarter. Crowell steps to his right, has some daylight inside the 5 to the end zone. Touchdown, Cleveland Browns. An 11-yard dance for Isaiah Crowell, his first TD of the year.
Mitchell Schwartz, the block right here. This is what seals it on Zach Brown. That edge is completely sealed. And then what did Mike Pettin talk about? When you get the one-on-one opportunities, our running backs have to make that guy miss. And that's exactly what Crowell did.
Well, every scoring play is under review. They're reviewing this one as we speak. Right now, 13-0. Browns on top. They've got a passing touchdown, and now they have a rushing touchdown.
NFL on CBS is sponsored by FanDuel, the leader in one-week fantasy football. And by Verizon. Watch live primetime games with NFL Mobile, only on Verizon.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
Well, the replay officials took a long while to look at that touchdown by Crowell, and he did his best one-on-one to get to the end zone here, Adam.
That's what you want to see. When it's one-on-one with a defensive back, you have to go get it. And that's exactly what they wanted to see from these running backs. That was the key coaching point this week.
And a reminder, too, the hand was on the ground to help, but the hand is not down. If the forearm was down, he would have been down. Here's the extra point by Coons. And it's 14-0. Browns on top with 6:26 to play here in the first quarter. Again, the fumble by Terrence West, the former Brown, led to the score by the current Browns. Saturday, the SEC on CBS brings us. Well, last week they allowed 154 yards on the ground. Last year, 32nd in the National Football League.
They did a good job in the first half against the Jets, but as that game went on, they really started to wear down. You had some missed tackles in the secondary. It's a good spot for Mariota to get involved in the quarterback run game.
He needs 3 yards for a first down. He rolls the pocket. Not much is there. He slips down, and he is knocked down. The football is loose. Mingo picks it up, and Dansby cleans it up. Mariota lost his hat as the quarter came to a close. Kruger and Hughes sandwiched him.
That is the end of the first quarter.
Second turnover of the afternoon finishes up the first quarter. It's been a resounding success for the Cleveland Browns.
What's that?
You see there's been a few balls here today that it hasn't really been there.
So the Browns will get it back. There'll be less than a minute left to play in this first half. Benjamin slips through a huge hole. He's going to get great field position inside Titans territory along the sidelines. Hurdles over Curd. Touchdown Cleveland. No flags. 78 yards on the punt return. It's 20-0. Browns on top. Parting of the Red Sea on that initial block.
Boy, is he fun to watch. His speed. And that punt return unit, Chris Tabor, the special teams coach, setting up a left return. And then the speed of Benjamin gets it to the outside. What a huge swing for the Browns here before halftime.
How about Pierre Desir and his block of Kern just to finish it off for the Cleveland Browns. Point after is good. 21-0. Cleveland is on top of Tennessee. All right, what about the clock? 7:20 and counting to play. I mean, still plenty of time for the Titans to work something here.
Boy, but they got to score because, I mean, the good news is that their offense has shut down the Cleveland Browns offense. They've only ran 12 plays for 18 yards in this second half. So your defense is doing a really good job, but right here it is critical to pick up this first down or score as soon as possible for the Titans.
14th play of this drive for the Titans. It's a 3rd down and 6. They need to get to the 7. Mariota dumps it off incomplete. He threw it behind Harry Douglas.
He can't.
Let's see what Ken Wisenhunt does here. He's going to keep the offense on the field on 4th down.
Yeah, I'm not really sure that he has a choice just because of where the game is. His defense is playing well, but they've got to be able to come away here with points. I think if you kick the field goal, good chance there's not going to be any time to make up the difference.
So it's 4th down. Where do they go? We shall see.
Kendall Wright's right here against off coverage with K'Wan Williams.
Mariota's looking that way. Now to the right. Hit as he throws, and it's caught! Touchdown, Dorial Green Beckham. The rookie goes high in the air and makes it a one-score game. A 13-yard touchdown pass.
This right here from Mariota, he's looking here the entire way. And then he shifts his eyes to here. And then at the very last second, he hits Dorial Green Beckham in the back of the end zone. Watch him as he goes through his progression. He finds the matchup. He throws the ball up high where his 6'5" target can go up there and get it. I mean, that was an excellent down for Mariota to deliver the touchdown.
Ken Wisenhunt told us he wasn't sure what Green Beckham could offer because he hasn't played a football game in over a year after transferring from Missouri to Oklahoma. Well, he gave him something big right here. With 6:42 to play here in the 4th quarter, the Titans have pulled within one score. Mariota, one rookie to another.
One Steve-A-Rita.
Some drinks are hardly refreshing.
I'll stick with Red's Wicked Apple.
Who wants a Steve Colada? Can't give these things away.
Red's Wicked Apple. Refreshingly hard.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Red's Apple Ale. Pick different. And by a Subway footlong. There's nothing bigger, nothing better. Subway. Eat fresh.
3rd down and 6 for the Browns with 3:02 to play here in the 4th quarter. Cameron Irving is an eligible lineman for the Browns, an extra lineman. Johnny Manziel out of the shotgun. Facing a passing situation to try to extend this drive. Here comes the pressure. He rolls away from it. Sets up in the pocket. Goes long to the middle of the field for Benjamin. He's got it! Touchdown, Cleveland! We were thinking 1st down, they're thinking touchdown, a 50-yard pass play.
Johnny Manziel, Texas A&M. Brian Orakpo clean off of the edge. He feels the pressure. He spins out of him. And instead of Mike Evans, who does he go to? Number 11, Travis Benjamin.
For the 2nd time today, Benjamin has had an unbelievable afternoon. The point after, and the exclamation point. It is good. It's 28-14. Cleveland on top of Tennessee with 2:52 to play here in the 4th quarter.
This is vintage Johnny football. Orakpo's going to come off the edge. You're going to see Johnny feel him to the outside. And then this is Benjamin out here working. You're going to see the safety come up. And the fact that Johnny Manziel finds his wide receiver after avoiding the pressure, keeps his eyes downfield. You see Benjamin right here with his hand up, getting open. And what a beautiful pass, hits him right in stride. When you gotta have it, that's what you want to see.
Well, you mentioned earlier this week how much you like Travis Benjamin. The Cleveland Brown fans are going to like him even more with 276 all-purpose yards.
One of the things this offense needs is that go-to guy, the one playmaker who forces defenses to try and account for him.
The 30-yard line to Chase Kaufman. They have one timeout left. They're going to hang on to it. You would think right here on 3rd down, they've got to get the 1st down, but this is 2-down territory, obviously, but they can take a shot with one of these. Mariota toward the end zone, incomplete. Well, there was the shot. Now they've got to get the 1st down and keep this thing rolling, but only 1:04 to play here in the 4th quarter.
I think he had Kendall Wright early, and if he got that ball and put a little bit less air under it, they might have had something there, but Dante Whitner was in pretty good shape.
Well, this is the ball game or any thought of the Titans making a miraculous recovery in the last minute of the game. 4th down and 2. Wright is in motion. Mariota has the first down of Fasano inside the 20-yard line. But the clock is under a minute to play. They still have the 1 timeout left. Mariota hit from behind. The ball is loose. It's recovered by the Browns. Was the arm moving forward, though? It'll be first down Cleveland. Bryant knocked it loose. Starks recovered it for the Browns. And the Cleveland fans will go home happy this afternoon thanks to their defense and Johnny Manziel.
Well, Desmond Bryant's speed rush on Taylor Lewan. On Monty Bryant, the outside linebacker, speed rush, easy rush on the left tackle, Taylor Lewan. Gets to Mariota, and in key moments of this game, the pressure, a big-time defense that he went to play against today.
Victory formation for the Cleveland Browns. The Titans can stop the clock only one more time if they choose to. Johnny Manziel takes a knee, and the last 30 seconds will tick off the clock here this afternoon. The Cleveland Browns have erased the thoughts of a Week 1 loss to the New York Jets with a 28-14 victory over the Tennessee Titans. Johnny Manziel comfortably running this offense this afternoon for the Browns. That's the final. For Adam Archuleta, I'm Tom McCarthy. Let's go to James Brown in our studios in New York. JB?
All right, Tom, so it is indeed a victorious effort on the part of Johnny Manziel and Cleveland.
After 8 years, Cleveland fans had the reward they waited for. The Browns were in the NFL playoffs.
Now introducing the AFC Central Division champion, Cleveland Browns.
In 1980, Cleveland won pro football's toughest division. Now, in one of the coldest playoff games in history, the Browns and Raiders geared themselves for a wind chill factor of minus 36 degrees. The frozen tundra of Municipal Stadium made footing tenuous, and defense prevailed most of the day. It produced the game's first and Cleveland's only touchdown of this polar playoff, a 42-yard interception by number 28 star cornerback Ron Bolton.
And Bolton goes 42 yards for the Cleveland touchdown, perfect interception. Touchdown Cleveland Browns, the first score of the playoff game.
The Browns had the lead, but Oakland overcame it, and in the fourth quarter was driving for more. Here, the Cleveland defense had its finest moment. Digging in near its own goal, they stopped the Raiders 4 straight times, the last with inches to go. Thus, with 2:22 left on the clock, the stage was set for yet another in a long line of incredible cardiac comebacks. With the Oakland end zone 85 yards away, Brian Sipe, the NFL Player of the Year, warmed the hearts of 80,000 frozen fans with a furious drive downfield. Passing into the wind, Sipe took his team deep into Raider real estate. Then,
With time running out, the NFL's leading quarterback crossed up Oakland's defense with a draw. It brought the Browns to the Raider 13. With the fans in a frenzy and only 49 seconds remaining, the Cardiac Kids were poised for the kill.
Red slot right. You go in. No, the red slot right. Left stay 88. Let's go.
All season, the Browns lived by the forward pass. In the playoffs, they died by it. One of the most thrilling seasons in football history was over. But what a year it had been. Brian Sipe etched his name among football's greatest passers, throwing for the second most yardage in NFL history, as Cleveland's souped-up air attack took a hair-raising ride through the schedule. The Surgeon General should require a warning on every ticket. Watching the Browns could be hazardous to your health.
Oh, what a ball game. Cardiac Kids are at it again.
Are we going to go down to the wire, or are we going to go down to the wire?
Why not? Done it all year.
Locked down to 34 seconds.
Time to get nervous. Sipe throwing to Logan.
He got it on the 20, 10, 5, touchdown, Dave Logan! Touchdown by Dave Logan, 46 yards, I don't believe it.
16 seconds remaining, what a play!
For sheer drama, this team couldn't be beat. Because of this fantastic string of heart-pounding finishes, the Browns, for the second straight season, gained nationwide notoriety as the Cardiac Kids. The season's first win came against Kansas City, when #1 draft pick Charles White saved the day.
Charles White sidesteps a man, 25, 20, breaks a tackle, 15, 10. He's down to the 5, another break, and he's in for a touchdown! What a run by Charles White!
While a raw rookie showcased his potential in his first victory, a week later in Tampa Bay, a graybeard sparked win #2. Ageless Calvin Hill, the thinking man's player, floated into the flat on a key third down.
Calvin Hill's open, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown!
He's still got some speed left in those old shoes, doesn't he?
Against the Bucks, Sipe set the tone for the season, spraying passes to 9 different receivers and controlling the ball not on the ground, but through the air. Another factor in this second win was that Tampa's all-pro Leroy Selman was dominated by #73 Doug Deacon, who held him to only 3 tackles all afternoon. Since the Browns threw 3/4 of the time, line blocking in 1980 was literally a password. Drop back, dig in, and at all costs, protect Brian Sipe. Cleveland's forward wall did it so well, the security of their pass pocket was second only to Buffalo's in the entire league. Young Redwoods, like 6'7" Cody Rison, used their height and boarding house reach to keep defenses at arm's length. Further testament to the line's brilliance was Deacon, De Leon, and Ilamalure, the 3 Ds, were all picked for the Pro Bowl. Another impressive credential was they paved the way for a game-breaking 1,000-yard runner, as this Monday night crowd, the NFL's largest of the year, will attest.
Pitch to Mike Pruitt, trying to turn right in. He's got the first down, breaks a tackle at the 50, 45, 40, broke a tackle. He's going all the way for a touchdown. Mike Pruitt breaks the game wide open.
The Browns barely beat Chicago at night and came close to losing to Baltimore in the rain when they somehow squandered a 15-point lead. The winning touchdown came when Sipe correctly read a blitz, then burned it with a pass to Greg Pruitt for a 1-point win. All year, this team walked a tightrope, win or lose, as a trip down the turnpike proved 7 days later. Cleveland had never won in Pittsburgh's Three Rivers Stadium. It appeared they would when the defense intercepted Terry Bradshaw 4 times and held the Steelers without a touchdown with just 11 seconds left in the game. Cleveland had the nail in the Steeler coffin, but couldn't hammer it home.
And it is coming down to the final nail-biting seconds at Three Rivers Stadium as the Browns try to break the 10-year jinx.
Bradshaw rolls left, looks in the end zone, touchdown to Swan. 11 seconds to play. That will be the ball game.
With a painful loss to Pittsburgh, a 5-game Cleveland win streak was broken. But the Browns rebounded by beating the Bengals as Sipe took to the air on nearly every play. The league's most valuable player threw 4 of his 30 touchdown passes for 1980. The 31-7 explosion underlined Cleveland's awesome offense. According to Sam Rutigliano, the formula for success is fairly simple.
What we do best, and it begins and ends with pass protection, is throwing a football. And beside anything else that you would do would be increasingly boring.
Led by the hottest quarterback in pro football, the Browns were anything but boring, barely beating the clock each week. The most honored player in the league in 1980, Sipe cashed in his nickel and dime reputation and silenced the critics forever.
The arm doesn't make the quarterback. My arm is certainly sufficient enough to get the ball where it has to go. What's important to me are the people that are around me. I've got a good supporting cast. Consequently, this arm is going to do what has to be done to win football games.
Cleveland won 11, 9 by 7 points or less, and were called Glowcoats since there's never a dull finish. It's an element Henry Shepard appreciates.
I played on a team in college that ran the wishbone, and it was boring as hell, quite frankly. You know, on this team, it's like being a kid at Christmas. You never know what you're going to find under the tree, because we have at least 8 or 9 players, wide receivers and backs on our team that can make a big play anytime, anywhere on the field. It's a smorgasbord. You just take your pick.
Sipe feasted from a banquet of backfield delicacies, like Greg Pruitt, Charles White, and Calvin Hill, as halfback became primarily a pass-catching position. Calvin ran the ball only once all year, but still scored 6 touchdowns. The downfield receivers aren't fast. They just catch the ball. From the wizardry of Ozzie Newsome to the mismatch of Dave Logan out-leaping an opponent, this trio of blue ribbon receivers consistently get open, like silky smooth Reggie Rucker finding a seam in the zone. Like the Three Musketeers and D'Artagnan, they have a flair for dramatics and a deep-rooted respect for each other.
Brian gets the football to the person that's open, and he probably reads defenses as well as anybody that I've ever played with, and I've played with Roger Staubach.
He's a winner.
And I think that just says it all in the whole. I mean, he does whatever it takes for us to win the game.
We've been in so many close games, in so many tight fits at the end of the game that it's just expected that somebody, Ozzie, Reggie, myself, Calvin, or somebody is going to make a big play to get the job done.
It's just been a treat for me. It's just, when the games are over with, and we've had some remarkable games, there's a closeness that I think that I feel with these three guys. The closeness of knowing that we've been able to do something a little bit special.
A showdown with arch-rival Pittsburgh had the stadium in an uproar. However, what Sam Ratigliano feared most occurred when the world champions jumped far ahead. In the fourth quarter, the contenders came roaring back, threading the needle sight through 3 touchdown passes to his halfbacks. The stage was set for the play that won the game.
And the Cardiac kids are at work today. Another pressure play for Brian Sight.
Sight to throw to Newsom, and touchdown! He got it in the corner of the end zone.
Brian Sight has now thrown for 4.
Another cardiac finish.
Oh boy, oh boy.
The 1-point win over Pittsburgh was a milestone for Sam's staff. It showed the Browns could beat one of the powers in their division. The victory also served as a positive prelude for a trip to Houston, for Cleveland would have to defeat the Oilers if dreams of a title in football's strongest division were to continue.
I think what's more important with this team is the fact that everybody came to camp this year wanting to gain respect in the NFL. And I think that we felt as a team that we could challenge Pittsburgh or Houston or Cincinnati.
I wrote a letter to Pete Rozelle early in the year requesting a transfer to the Ivy League, but he denied me that.
In Houston, colorful coach Bum Phillips set his sights on first with an appropriate battle cry.
Last year, we knocked on the door. This year, we beat on the door. Next year, we're going to kick it in.
With attention focused on the favorites at the front door, a sleeper snuck in from the side. In a classic confrontation for first place, surprising Cleveland slammed the division door shut in the Oilers' face. Paced by number 30, unheralded Cleo Miller, the Browns ran roughshod over the Oilers. Basically, this was a defensive battle won by the Browns, whose hard hitting caused 5 turnovers. As usual, the game was up for grabs until the final seconds.
Back to throw, Stabler. He fires. Intercepted by Clarence Scott on the 25. That's the ball game. The Browns have an upset over the Houston Oilers. The defense has risen to the occasion, and the Browns are going to go away from here with the Central Division lead.
Due to their defense, Cleveland was in control of the AFC Central. A switch to the Okie alignment with 3 down linemen and 4 linebackers was the prime reason for progress. Keys for Cleveland were 2 middle linebackers, Robert Jackson, number 56, and Dick Ambrose, number 52. Hard-hitting linebackers are critical in the 3-4. For the down linemen are sacrificial lambs who bang and claw against multiple blocking while the linebackers flow to the ball. Another key element is the nose guard, who is usually double-teamed. Number 91, Henry Bradley, has the agility and lateral quickness the position demands. With good-looking youngsters like Bradley and rookies Marshall Harris and designated pass rusher Elvis Franks, number 94, the only experienced hand on the line belonged to the spiritual leader and captain of the Browns defense, Lyle Alzado, a man who doesn't shirk responsibility.
Here's what we're going to do. Listen, come on. Here's what we're going to do. I am going to move to the tackle spot. You're going to play the end. I'm going to get in the gap and pick those two guys. You're going to come inside the middle there. Don't tell anybody we're doing it. I'll take full concern and full blame. Okay?
Led by Alzado, Ambrose, and Jackson, Cleveland had its strongest defense in years. Healthy for the first time since the Browns drafted him #1, Jackson proved he's the punishing tackler his nickname implies. For Stonewall Jackson stops enemy runners dead in their tracks. With their hyperactive linebacking, Cleveland made dramatic strides against the run, ranking 3rd in the league. But while the Okie defense is tough on the ground game, it lacks teeth for the pass rush. To compensate, Cleveland camouflaged with a variety of blitzing techniques that sent nearly everybody, linebackers, safeties, and cornerbacks, flying in the face of opposing quarterbacks. For the first time in memory, the Browns' defense was a major force. In Minnesota in the next to last week, the Cardiac Kids again provided great theater. One of the most memorable finishes ever seen.
Browns lead by 1 point. They're within 1 point of making the playoffs. Kramer to throw. There goes the alley-oop. Deflected. It's caught for a touchdown. It bounced off the hands of the Browns, and Rashad caught it for a touchdown as time expired. Unbelievable. The Browns led for 59 minutes and 59 seconds and lose the game. What it means is the Browns must win in Cincinnati next week to make the playoffs and win the division championship.
Our goal tomorrow is to win a division. Tomorrow, we have to protect number 17. And that's it offensively.
In the season finale, the Browns and Bengals traded blow for blow, touchdown for touchdown, in one of 1980's most spectacular games. As it was all year, the difference was Cleveland's prolific passing attack.
Touchdown to Feature! Ricky Feature! Feature split to the left. Brian Sipe to throw. Throws it deep in the end zone. It is a touchdown again to Ricky Feature. That's 2 in a row!
Fans from both sides went wild as the lead changed hands 6 times. When Cincinnati tied the game at 24, Cleveland switched gears and took control of the line of scrimmage. Powerful Mike Pruitt was the weapon as the Browns drove downfield in another race with the clock. Like so many Browns games before, this one went down to the final gun. But this time, a division title was on the line.
Another cardiac finish. The Browns win. They go into the playoffs. Final score in Cincinnati. The Browns 27, the Bengals 24. Yes!
For the second straight season, Sam Rutigliano was named Coach of the Year. But for the first time, the Browns had a new name to go with Cardiac Kids. They now could be called champions of the best division in football.
What a game. What a game.
We got a game ball for everybody. Just a second. I got my best line of the year, man. Got my best line of the year. Bum Phillips knocked on the wrong ball.
He knocked at the wrong door. Hey, man, look, you did it. You did it with a flair for the dramatics. And that's what we are. Hey, hold it up. It's the best thing. Hey, look, it's the best thing that's ever happened to me. And the thing that's most important about it, we could all share it together. That's really what's most important. And I love all you guys. Hey, we're number one right there.
There were good things happening at both ends of the play.
Well, it was the pass protection here. There's a little delay, and they come in here. But I want you to watch this shell that's going to be around Matthew Stafford. Excellent job by the offensive line, by the tight ends, by the backs, just to pick up that pressure. There are 6 defenders that are rushing that time, a lot of one-on-one blocks, and Stafford has plenty of room to step up in the pocket and make an accurate throw that gets him down into this great field position.
Stafford 10 out of 13 for 118 yards throwing. 2nd and 5. Anderson to the 11. You know, I can't help but realize Levi Wallace got hurt trying to make a tackle, and Hawkinson fell on him.
We've seen that a few times tonight. Another player falling into the legs of a person that's standing by where the tackle happens, and unfortunately that happens quite a bit.
3rd and 3. They need the 8-yard line for a first down. Stafford throwing outside in and out of the hands of Amendola. So here's an interesting call on 4th and 3.
Well, I think they're going to go for it, but I think you have man-to-man across the board. That's one of those ones as you're a quarterback and you're going through the cadence, you know exactly where you're going with the ball. As soon as you see the secondary lineup, man-to-man in all 3 spots, you know your inside receiver is going to be running a quick out. I think Stafford was a little too quick with the ball. If he had the patience a little bit more to let the receiver get his head around, he could have gotten the first down. But same thing once again. You had 3 receivers to the top. They're all in man-to-man coverage. You see the defender trailing the receiver. Go to your best matchup in man-to-man coverage.
The pass to the near side, complete to the end zone, touchdown. Ty Johnson out of the backfield, the rookie from Maryland.
Well, and you may be sitting here thinking, why is that your best matchup? You have a running back matched up on a linebacker. The linebacker has to try and get through the release of the tight end. The tight end's releasing vertically up the field. So the linebacker has to try and bubble over the top of it. Stafford realizing what coverage he has and where he wants to place this football. Excellent throw. Touchdown, Detroit.
Matthew Stafford doing what he said he wanted to do, get in here and put some points on the board.
So back to your conversation or your point that we had at the beginning of this drive, I wouldn't be surprised now if Stafford comes out of the game. Just because they had rhythm, they picked up some big plays, he had some accuracy, they were able to pick up blitz and pressure, they got points on the board. It wouldn't shock me at all if he's done.
Prater's kick is good. 10 minutes, 18 seconds to play in the first half. Matthew Stafford leads the drive that puts the Lions back on top, and we're back to Ford Field right after this.
First half, just the overall performance of the for you.
It was good. Had some fun. I love playing, so I don't care what the situation is. We practice hard. I want to go out there and play. It was good to get out there and operate. Some things to clean up on tape, some really good things that we did, but some things that we got to clean up for sure. And we'll make sure we do that. No, I felt comfortable with where we were, where I was. But anytime I get to go play, man, I'm excited. I enjoy it.
When you look back at it now, do you feel like maybe the fact that you had all of those joint practices versus the games, that maybe got you either better prepared or?
I think you can get a lot of work done in those joint practices, and especially the way that we run them. They're a ton of situational football, very physical. It's very football-like, so it's a lot of good work.
What do you like about what the offense was able to do tonight, A, and then B, just
where this offense is in general, I guess, heading into the regular season?
You know, tough to, judge where it is, where it's going to be, all that. I just know we're always trying to be better. I thought we, made some explosive plays, which was good. A few too many mistakes, stalled out in the red zone, twice, kind of had the, one to Marv I'd like back. Just didn't see it clear enough. And then, obviously the fourth down we went for it and didn't get it. Those are two that you'd like to have back. But I was proud of the way the guys fought. I thought our tempo was great. I thought we ran the ball pretty efficiently. Struggled a little bit early on, but did a nice job in the pass game and made some plays.
Matthew, when you see an injury to Frank Gray, who's been a centerpiece to what the interior of the offensive line, what does it do to you eventually?
Anytime those things happen, it's not fun. We understand it's part of the game. It is, a little bit more frustrating considering it is a preseason game, but these things happen, and I know Frank's going to do everything he can to be back as soon as he can, whatever it is.
What about Hockenson, Johnson? Had some explosive plays there, and just rookies coming in and making plays.
It's a lot of what you've seen in practice. Those guys have done a nice job. Nobody's perfect. I think Hawk would like that one back going to his right. And I'm sure, Ty's got a player here or there he wants back too. We all do. But, I was proud of those guys stepping in there, playing against a really good physical Buffalo defense. That defense gave us, a bunch of issues last time we played them, and they're a really good defense. I think they finished, top 5 in about every category last year. Some good players. So it was good to go out there and move a little bit.
Do you think it was beneficial to be out there for you with the rest of the first team offense? Beneficial for you?
Listen, I just love playing. It's not for me to decide if it was beneficial or not. I love going out there and competing and trying to score points.
You said you're always itching to go out, obviously, but can you explain what sort of, if any, trepidation there is on players? This is the preseason, those injuries, such a final game.
Yeah, it's an interesting, I guess, feeling going out there. It's you're prepared just as hard as you can to go play, and you're just hoping that nothing, too bad happens. And you do that in the regular season, but your mind is just on, winning whatever it takes. I'd crawl around on the field if it helped us win a regular season game. So, a little bit different, but I think our guys, you go out there and play with a bunch of tempo. Anytime you step between the white lines, man, you got to know anything can happen. You go out there and play, as hard as you possibly can.
Do you try to avoid injuries? Is it actively?
I don't. I was running around the other day. So that's what I'm saying. Once you step through the lines, you think about it maybe on the sideline or something, or when it happens to somebody else, you see a guy on their team go down, and you just, that's when you think about it. But, they snap the ball, blow the whistle, let's go play. You're going to play football just like you've always played.
You said it was maybe a little more frustrating with these injuries happening in the preseason. What exactly do you mean by that? Does that maybe change how you view whether these? Well,
the regular season hasn't started, and guys are going to be no doubt dealing with something during the regular season. It's just not fun to deal with something going into it.
You did mention that Hockenson he would like that. Maybe it sounds like a weird question, but does he need to get used to just the various arm angles you can throw at him?
The one coming off the ground at him? Yeah. I thought if I put my arm up, dude was going to tomahawk me, so I tried to just keep it down there and give it to him. But no, we had a laugh about it afterwards. Obviously, I wish I could have maybe thrown a little bit better for him, and obviously he wished he could have caught it. But those are things we'll look at, and I think that's just getting used to playing with each other. That's everybody. I've got a bunch of new guys that are catching passes from me this year that are going to, obviously get used to me as we continue to play together.
Matthew, here's what we saw, like you said, in training camp and plus tonight. Do you think you have tight ends who are real threats now, not just role players, but guys who can play and really do a lot of things out there?
I think they've done a great job. I think everything we've asked them to do in training camp, they've done a great job. Obviously, there's some plays we want back. I think we had a holding penalty in the tight end room and some things that are, negatives. But all in all, those guys are coming to work every single day, putting a bunch of hard work in and trying to help our offense, score points.
Do you think players, especially when injuries happen in preseason, do you think players have come to maybe dislike or not want preseason as long as it is?
I don't know. I can't speak to that, to be honest with you. That's a tough one for me to answer.
Has it changed? You've been playing 11 years, 11th season. Has it changed from 2009, the first time, just the way you approach this preseason?
Yeah, we're doing more joint practices now than we did back in the day. But those aren't my decisions to make. I just show up when they tell me to show up and go practice. Yeah, it's probably changed a little bit. I think around the league maybe guys are playing a little bit less, but I don't pay too much attention to it. I kind of just concentrate on what we got going on here.
You played a ton of games. Even though you played a ton of games, did tonight help you get ready for 2 weeks from now?
Yeah, I mean, I think anytime you can go out there and play, full-on tackle football, I don't have a red jersey on, and go play, the more experience you get, the better. There's going to be plays that I had tonight that I'll learn from, both good and bad. So every time I step out there, it's a learning experience. I'm trying to do everything I can to make sure, we score a bunch of points, but at the same time, I'm going to learn from it.
Do you think you get more out of the joint practices or the preseason games? Because, you've been through both so many times now. I'm just wondering if there's an advantage to doing one over the other.
I can't think of an advantage one way or the other.
Matt, I don't know if you've been asked about the personal guys yet, but with Ty Johnson and that, just what you saw in that play, and then what does he add to the offense, just the speed that he brings to it?
Yeah, it was obviously a nice little route, free release route out of the backfield, and he got a step on his defender, and I was able to kind of fit it in there. And he did a great job of holding on to it. It wasn't an easy catch with a lot of action going on around him, kind of running right to the front pylon. So I was happy he reeled it in, and obviously it's a big play in the game that we ended up getting points on. Thanks, guys.